Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. For those of you still scrolling through your ex's Instagram story, welcome to the Black Table. This is the one place where we dissect life's biggest wahala, raw opinions, fly freely, and street wisdom. I mean, we meet modern madness and, we mix everything together. I'm your host, Olamide, and I will also be your landlord for the late night conversations we'll be having tonight. Okay, so joining me tonight is a lineup of media experts. First up, when you talk about iconic TV personalities out of Africa, one name stands tall, steady, and unshaken: the legendary Frank Edoho. For over 2 decades, he's commanded both radio and television with unmistakable, his voice, razor sharp, wit, calm, charisma, and that turns every moment into an experience.
I'm waiting to hear what you're going to say about these guys.
I'm still going somewhere, Frank.
Right.
Of course, he continues to evolve while staying true to the craft, and just recently he added streaming. We're going to talk about that.
Dude, I was a guest.
We're going to talk about that, definitely.
Crazy stuff.
Like, we're all like, whoa, interesting stuff.
The guy just called me. The guy seemed like a bus conductor turned podcaster, shouting at the top of his lungs. I said, dude, calm down. You're going to have a heart attack at the age of 20. What do you want? And he says he wants me to appear. I said, oh, so what are we going to be doing? He said, no, just vibes. I'm like, oh, boy.
Oh, my.
So
how was the experience, though?
Well, it was nice. Now, look, let me tell you, the guy had this apparatus of streaming apparatus in front of him.
Oh, yeah?
And the comments, they were just going at the speed of light. I could see it. I'm like, are these real people?
That's TikTok, right?
No, YouTube.
Oh my.
YouTube live, they were going real time.
Wow.
And the guy was just jumping up like a marionette, just next to me, and people were going crazy. I'm like, I think I'm in the wrong sector of broadcasting.
Yeah.
Really?
Okay, rethink time then. And of course, making his debut on the Black Table, we have Moyosore Adebiyi, also known as Moyo Lagos, a dynamic media and communications expert with a decade of experience spanning broadcasting, digital strategy, public relations, and content production. As a founder, creative force behind Mad Media. That describes who he is. Let me just leave it at that.
You guys make me look real good. Thank you so much.
Mad Media Communications.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yes.
You introduced him, and in my head, I'm like, there's no way. But you guys
can
tried.
meet up.
Yeah, you guys tried.
The Mad Communication.
Yeah, made me look like a pro. Yeah. It's an honor being here.
Okay.
Because
wait till you hear what I say about that guy over there.
Love it.
Oh.
Okay.
That guy. You know when Jesus encountered that guy that was possessed, and the guy said, "We are legion.
Yes.
We are gang. We are gang."
Okay, so if wisdom had the body, then it will be the embodiment of that gentleman over there at the bar. He's got the wits, he's got the bars, and is currently the undisputed most faithful man in Lagos.
And not the outskirts.
Lagos, Portugal, to be specific.
Oh,
not
Lagos.
Lagos.
Oh.
Lagos, Portugal, not Lagos, Nigeria.
Namaste, gentlemen.
Of course, he never holds back when it comes to speaking the truth.
Oh, sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome his legion.
Many in one.
We need to clap more.
Wow, I think so.
No. It's always great to have Frank here, and of course, meeting Moyo for the first time. Let's see what happens on the table tonight.
All right, so Frank, his team lost earlier this evening, 3-1, 1-3, Chelsea.
It's just Club World Cup. We've won the title before, but you guys wouldn't know anything about that. So let's forget about it.
That's the Arsenal people.
Okay, all right.
It's been
it's good to
almost
take a
everything.
shot.
Chelsea has won every European title there is.
Okay, so at this point, I'm humbled. I'm going to keep quiet. Yeah.
But next, like you guys say, next season.
Next season.
Oh my God, this is a roast.
I reserve my
Until they do something about it.
We will do something about it next season. All right, at this point, we need to take a quick break. When we return, we'll be diving straight into our quick fires for this evening.
2-1.
All right.
I said
Welcome back. It's still the Black Table. We're talking about Chelsea losing.
Hey, we weren't talking about that, dude. Go to the subject of the day. What's wrong with you?
Okay, so our first quick fire has to do with the late Chief Nwayan Wu, who reportedly left a clause in his will stating that his young widow, Frances, must never remarry. And if she does, she has to forfeit all of her inheritance. The chief married, married her when he was about 80 or thereabout, and she was in her late 30s. They had a child together, and unfortunately he died at the age of 82. That was sometime last year. And there's news flying left and right that stipulates that if Frances chooses to remarry, she will automatically forfeit all these inheritances she gained. She gained some privileges. And now the question is, at what point should we normalize writing wills in Nigeria? Should it be left till old age, or is it something young professionals should start considering as well? Was the chief being fair, or, was it right? On his young wife. At 82, he stood no chance.
Yeah.
So let me start with you, Frank. Do you think that was unfair?
Very unfair.
Okay, why do you say that?
What does he expect her to do? Have an entanglement with his... He's gone to the great beyond. So she can't, kill herself and go to the great beyond and be married to him over there. When death occurs, you're done with this realm.
Exactly.
You're in another realm. You can't still be linked to the people of the other realm, which is here. So I think it's unfair on the lady. I think that when couples are married and a partner dies, the other person should be allowed to move on. Not talk about a will, the conditions of will being attached to your fidelity after the person has passed on.
That's not fair.
It's ludicrous and preposterous. So I'm saying it because I don't think it's right. I think it's a bit selfish, but I don't know about the cultural requirements of people when they say, okay, when a man dies, the widow will have to shave their heads or drink the water they used to bathe the corpse or stuff like that, which are ridiculous in my opinion.
Very backwards.
Yes. Yeah. So I think it's very unfair. It doesn't have anything to do with writing of the will.
Exactly.
Especially when someone is old, you have to write a will and bequest your property because you're not going to go with it. You're not going to go with the property, so you have to bequeath it to the remaining people. But then, why would you put such a clause? And it's forever. It's not like time bound.
Yeah.
Nah, I don't think so.
So, Moyo, what are your thoughts on
obviously, I agree it's a bit selfish, but I do think it's probably sort of like a legacy thing, Probably just wants to keep the properties in the family and stuff like that. But it is 2025, Obviously, if you're in your 40s and you're marrying an 80-year-old guy, it's at the back of your mind. You have to understand it's a bit transactional, right? It's a bit transactional, because obviously, he don't love you. You know what I mean?
Oh, wait, he don't love.
He doesn't love her. He just needs companionship and just somebody to take care
What
of
about
her.
the other way around?
She probably doesn't either, but I'm not going to speak for her. Maybe she liked a little salt and pepper. I don't know.
Okay.
But, it's a thing.
No, 80 is not salt and pepper.
80 is like really just
80
salt.
is like
just like salt.
Ajinomoto and
very sharp. I get, but I'm just like, she's in her 40s already. Just, have like a boy toy somewhere. Can I say stuff like that?
You already said it.
Okay, sorry. Like have a boy toy somewhere, have some fun and keep the money. You've already paid the dues being with the old guy.
No, believe me, if you have a boy toy somewhere, that money is not going to be kept.
No, she should invest, obviously. She invests, but there's some, you just have some fun.
Okay.
And keep the status that you need. That's just it's not, for me, maybe because of the kind of person I am, I don't think it's that complicated. Just move.
It's not that complicated. You just need to find the loopholes.
Find the loopholes and,
Gang.
They said marriage.
What are choices?
They said,
marriage.
Like he said, there are a lot of loopholes here. I am married. God forbid anything happens to my wife today, but I'm not going to remarry.
Oh, you are not going to marry?
Yeah. If anything happens to my wife today, I trust me. After experiencing marriage, I will not remarry.
Okay, that sounds like something else.
But here's the catch.
I used to think that way.
But here's the catch.
But
Here's the catch.
Yeah.
I didn't say I won't be active. You get where I'm coming from?
Out of Lagos.
But I don't see myself taking vows with another person.
Oh.
You get me?
Yeah, fair.
So what he has simply done to her is give her the license that, like you said, to have a boy toy and do what she wants to do, but not take vows, but not get married. She can move in with somebody, live with somebody, be husband and wife, but legally will not be married to the
legally,
person.
she's not allowed to get married to someone else.
Okay.
So she
the
won't
will
get
doesn't
married.
say she can't seek companionship.
Do you understand?
Or,
she can
find
be a
other
baby
ways
mama.
to,
She can be a baby mama.
It's a bit too late for that, though.
She can, she can do whatever she wants to do and not be locked down. So as long as they don't go to a service and take vows, she's good to do whatever. But here's another thing: if she meets another 70 or 80-year-old millionaire that now wants to marry her, she'll forfeit that and move on. So if she's smart and her game is tight, she's good to go.
Then she becomes the Black Widow, yeah?
Exactly.
Okay.
That's amazing. That's an amazing point of view.
So if she meets another rich person that has everything, she'll marry the
you
person.
don't need all that.
I'm not, I'm not here for this program. I'm here for him.
All right, interesting. Our next quick fire comes from Kenya. A female Kenya podcaster recently claimed that African women are quick to jump at a one-night stand opportunity with a white man, but won't give their fellow black brothers an audience. She revealed this during a recent podcast. So let's check out the video, and then we can now dissect and share what our thoughts are.
Girls that are mostly into white men, they would make it difficult for a black guy that want to play tough and have standards when it comes to a black man. When it comes to a white man, they will literally be open to a one-night stand in hopes that they will bag a white. Oh my God!
I don't see them. I don't see them.
That's actually a fact.
No values,
That's
no
standards.
Where?
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Yes, and
Straight up.
African girls, I tell you, me, I saw these things in Kenya. Hey.
But did you see them actually do that deed?
But you live in Uganda as well.
Yeah. What have you seen in Uganda? She's not saying I saw it in Kenya.
In Kenya, I'm like, even
In Uganda, I saw these things even in a club.
Okay,
Yo,
yeah.
I saw
Tell us what you saw in Uganda.
a black man will come to the table.
Yeah.
They will want him to buy a drink first, and be cool and buy pizza and everything. The moment a white man comes around, the skirts he will touch anywhere, like they actually don't care. So I realize African girls that like white men, they will make everything easy for a white man. Like the white man can get away with everything because they are so desperate for a white man. So
Guys,
these
Esther
girls
went to a whorish place. I'm sorry.
but it's reality. It happens.
Fact.
It happens.
Those are facts.
Even if you find girls on a website, on a dating sites, if it's a black man they're talking to, they are most likely not to.
I've been down this road. I do
Game
this shit no more.
recognizes game.
They're coming back now. Okay, you know what? Normally we wait till the end of the show to do toast of the week, but I'm going to do a toast to Nigerian women.
To Nigerian women.
To Nigerian women.
Okay.
They're not giving it up to a white man.
Nigerian women.
Yeah, to Nigerian women. They're not giving it up. They're not going to give it up.
Okay. What are you talking about?
What's going on now?
Olamide.
I needed to push, a bit because I know for a fact that in other parts of Africa, in the eastern parts of Africa, and of course in South Africa, it's a thing whereby they see Westerners or white people as a quick buck, or a way to entrap them with some good honeypots.
I thought you were
But in Nigeria, it's different. I think it's different. I don't think a Nigerian woman will give it up that easily for a white guy, and there are reasons that I think so. But this show isn't about me; it's about you guys.
I disagree.
You disagree? I was waiting for you to disagree.
I disagree. Let me tell you why. Because in most of Nigeria, there are not enough foreigners, enough of those white people for you to actually test that theory. From the little you see, I've seen some situations in Lekki and VI that girls are quick to jump on some Oyinbo guy wondering what's available.
Yeah.
Or if you go to some places like Kano as well, where you have a lot of Lebanese
So did you say
people.
jump on what's available?
Yeah, if the guy is down, they're ready to risk it all there and then, more than they would for the average gang. You get me?
Average gang.
So you get what I'm
He had to bring
I
himself.
put myself there.
He had to bring himself.
To be honest, I've seen situations. I know certain people. I had some friends in Abuja that their aim was to lock down a foreigner. Do you understand? They want their kids to be biracial by any means. Whether it's one night stand, whether it's marriage,
that's
they want to have biracial kids.
Oh, okay.
That's how desperate they are. Do you understand? But it's another form of lockdown. If there were enough foreigners here, trust me, the double standard would exist here in Nigeria as well.
So Frank, do you agree with what Gang just said?
Well, I think that is just like a minority, all these people that want to have biracial children. But I feel that I don't think this is like a Nigerian issue, because Nigerian women are different, are cut from a different fabric. That's what I feel.
Yeah.
You know, the Nigerian women, there are some of them, unless some of them have a penchant for dating white men.
Yeah.
So that's another kettle of fish entirely. But in terms of this, I don't think it's really a Nigerian.
It's not a Nigerian thing.
It's not. I don't think so. I don't really think so.
I can see Moyo wondering,
here's the thing, I mean, I know in South Africa there was a period where they were like, oh, even the South African girls wanted to preferred being with Nigerian guys over South Africans, right? Because they had money to spend.
Now that's the thing.
Yeah. So
I think girls all over the world. That's why we have an influx of them during Dirty December.
I think it boils
some
down.
of them have not left.
Again, I think it just boils down to the money. I think it boils down to the money.
It's money.
Even money. Here, I go to because I used to work in VI for a long time. You go to some of these bars and stuff like that, and it's mostly white guys who visit, and you see the way the women are. Again, I don't want to speak for the women. I hope I don't want to get canceled or something. But the way they carry themselves is very seductive. They want the white guys to see them, and that's because of the expatriate salary. The money is a lot more.
No, let's just say money is colorblind. I mean, it depends who has it. Maybe white.
No, but let me tell you something. If I see a white guy, the chances that he's richer than the black guy next to him are high in Lagos. Yeah.
Oh, you think so?
I think so. I agree. The chances that I just see a random white guy and a random black guy, the chances that he's richer than the black guy is based on what I'm saying personally.
The chances or your opinion?
No, this is very opinionated.
Okay.
This is my opinion because I don't know the statistics, right?
Okay.
But very opinion. I just feel like that's probably the way women look at it, and it's not just Nigeria, probably across Africa as well. They just feel like these people have much cheddar to spend.
Yeah, because they're blinded. They're blinded. Let me not lie to you. There are a lot of I don't want to take shots at them, but what's going to be is going to be. Sometimes I see a lot of Asians, you get me?
Yeah.
Whether they're Indian or Chinese. Lebanese, and you could see a lot of them, like you said, in Victoria Island, that axis, you might see a lot of them there, feeling because they look foreign, that they possess a lot of money and they're paid in foreign currency and whatnot. Some of these people ain't shit where they came from.
That's right, but the girls don't know that.
They don't know that, but once you just look foreign, they just assume. I'll never forget, there was one girl in Abuja, this was years ago. I think she was from Bulgaria, one East European country. She could barely speak English. This girl was the definition of white trash.
Jesus
My
Christ.
God.
Some guy just brought her to the country and was hanging around with her.
Jesus Christ.
Holy.
Some guy just brought her to the country, was hanging
God.
around with her, that he's there with Oyibo or whatever. If you sat down and had a conversation with this girl, you would see how the human brain is not in every human being.
Wow.
So sometimes don't be deceived by skin color.
I think Gang wants us cancelled before next quarter.
Hey, I just got here, man.
I'm not saying what's going on.
I literally just got here.
Sometimes,
Firing on all cylinders today, buddy.
Sometimes skin color can be deceptive. You see a foreigner and you just feel as if he's better than your fellow Nigerian brother.
No, we're not talking about intelligence. We're talking about,
In this context.
So here's the funny thing. You see a white guy, when you see a white guy in Nigeria, for example, the first thing you think is he's either American or English. And he must have dollars. Some of them don't, or pounds. Some of them don't have money. They came here to hustle. It's better for them here than it is where they came from.
Agreed. Yeah.
You get where I'm coming from?
Yeah.
Meanwhile, we are here eager to go where they are, feeling it would be better for us there. Some of them have seen the opportunities and are here to make it. So it's not as if they're corrupt and have stolen money, and the rich ones know where they are, know where you would find them. Some of them here are hustling and they're working minor jobs, being paid stipends here and there. But once you see them, you expect the best.
They have housing though.
but that's another thing. Now, I'm not including the ones that come here during the holidays, December and whatnot. Those ones come in with some bucks to spend and whatever. But the ones that are here basically live here.
Okay,
trust me, not all of them
I'm
are
just
born.
gonna round this up by saying, cheers to my Nigerian women. Love you.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you for holding us down.
Thank you for holding us down respectfully. So next quick fire. This one doesn't concern me, Sha, but we shall mention it. International rapper Drake confessed to losing over $100 million to gambling recently. Sharing this information with his fans, he also shed light on the pros and cons of gambling. However, back home, a Nigerian man named Olokun Stephen was reportedly dumped by his wife for using part of the family savings to gamble. Though, ironically, the same betting had been feeding them for years. Me, I can tell you this for free. Every time I place a bet, I lose money. I've been losing money my entire life. I've lost more than money.
So why do you continue placing bets?
I don't even do it anymore.
Okay, good.
I don't because it's like I have bad luck. So if I was talking
But
to
this
a
guy
friend this evening.
had good luck because he said he used it to feed his
for
family.
10 years, yeah. And
yeah.
the wife was like, okay, I've had it because there are times whereby there's a lot of tension. I mean, Drake can lose $100 million. It's probably not.
Why? How much is Drake worth? Is he worth up to a
Again,
billion?
that was the first question I was going to ask. Like, what's Drake worth?
Drake is just putting that thing because he got murked by a guy who's shorter than him. Got murked by Kendrick Lamar. He has not gotten over it, so he's now trying to bring this. Leave Drake alone.
Like money ain't a
Drake
thing.
say, I don't want to know. You know what? Kendrick Lamar murked you, put you. The guy devastated you. The guy you brought a submachine gun to a battle. That guy bought a nuclear weapon.
Yeah, I don't know why
Two nuclear
Drake
weapons.
so much. Why do you guys hate on Drake so
Because
much?
Drake was busy
Not
jumping,
you guys.
sleeping on
Frank.
Okay, fair. Sorry.
No. The whole they hate him. Nobody came. Do you know when Kendrick Lamar did that concert?
Yeah.
Did you see everybody, even LeBron, that used to be Drake's pal, was at the concert, and they were doing.
If anything, LeBron ain't loyal.
Yeah, they're not like us. They're not like us.
That's Serena.
No. Because Drake was also. You see, that's the thing with Drake.
Yeah.
It has to be repercussions, retribution.
This is getting deep, man.
No, it's karma now because he was flapping his mouth about people he slept with, Scottie Pippen's wife.
Oh yeah, that was low.
You understand what I'm saying? And other people, then
low.
people's girlfriend, rapper's girlfriend, because he's the hot material. He took somebody half his size, half his height,
his size.
but quadruple his lyricism
Fair.
to devastate.
Frank
him.
sounds like a Kendrick
So
fan.
no.
Obviously,
I
yeah.
don't. Let me
I
tell
get
you,
what he's
the
saying.
only Kendrick song I know is the one he did with SZA. That's it.
What's that?
The one, Would You Love Me?
Yeah,
Something like that.
that's a good
That
one.
song.
That's a good
That's the only song I know.
I love that
I'm
song,
not
by the
even a
way.
Kendrick fan.
I'm a Drake
my
fan.
best,
But maybe you're a Drake
my
hater.
best rapper.
Are you a Drake hater?
You say what?
No,
you hate
I
on
don't
Drake?
think it's just
I
being
don't.
objective here.
No. Drake is. Let me tell you something. We can all agree with Drake fans and Drake haters. Drake is an asshole. He's an asshole.
Okay.
So now he met one guy that guy, violence is his food.
Fair.
Then he came under the radar and delivered. Man, that A minor line, Drake can never live it down. A minor.
Anyway, I just always
come
say, Drake wrote Unthinkable by Alicia Keys, so I'm going to give props
I think
for that,
Drake is a great guy, by the way.
No, he's a great guy.
Can we go back to gambling?
Say the gambling, yeah. Because I don't know how we got here.
I mean,
No,
he gambled away $100 million.
No,
He's a great
he's
guy.
still gambling because Drake gambled with his career, man.
That's right. That's right. I like that.
Anyways, according to data reporter survey, an estimated 60 million Nigerians gamble daily, mostly on sports, generating
I'm not one of them.
bet around 500 million to 600 billion annually.
Let me tell you, betting used to happen those days because when I was a kid, I used to see them hold some orange with columns and rows, and they are marking it. I will see this Cardiff. I will see. That's when
Waiting for numbers to come out.
Yeah. When I saw the football club Wimbledon,
Ghetto as hell.
I thought it was the tennis thing. When I said Wimbledon, I said it's tennis. Why are they doing? I didn't know it was a football club. No, I'm telling you. So they used to do all that betting. It happened, but now companies have come out to make it easier because we are now seeing
Technology
visual.
backs it up too.
Yes. So betting is they used to say religion is the poor man's opium.
Yeah.
Now betting is.
Because I think,
agree.
No, but that's what I was going to say.
But here's the thing.
Poverty.
Here's the thing.
Yeah, it is.
Here's the
Because
thing.
it is the fastest way for you.
To
One of the
make
fastest
money.
way for you to make big money.
Okay.
But it's
That's
accessible
for the
to
people
you.
that's for the poor people that
accessible
don't
to you.
have money. But if you look at, I don't want to mention certain brands and certain names on the show, but there's certain owners of these betting businesses that are rich for life.
That's right.
Yeah, sure.
That's right.
If you look at the mathematical equations of how much they stand to make on a daily basis, they're making billions.
Okay.
So even when people are making millions, they don't lose.
They don't lose. It's a business.
But when you capitalize on people like Drake, you know, I know situations where Drake has bet on boxing matches.
Yeah, and he
you understand,
lost.
a couple
That's
of
Drake
millions
curse.
here and there. He can afford to do it. The one I heard was, you know about the Bruno Mars scandal?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Where I think it was about 50-something million in Las Vegas
In debt.
that he was in debt to because he lost it gambling. So he performs. So they're taking out that pay from that.
I don't believe that stuff.
But
Honestly, I don't believe it too. I don't
listen.
I don't believe that.
That's so funny.
That thing, I think that thing is so real because I used to follow a lot of poker games, card games and stuff like that. The amount of money that's won, lost, their tournaments, you know, betting is not just football. Gambling is not just that. But in all honesty, isn't life a gamble? Life is a gamble itself. So
Gang is on fire tonight.
It's almost like you know what they say when some of these Ponzi schemes come in, or even when it comes to loaning people money, they'll tell you what you cannot. Don't loan out what you can't dash out.
Exactly.
So sometimes be cautious with what you gamble with. Be cautious of what you give out in general. So life is a gamble. You put money on the stock market and you think that's not gambling?
Okay, so now that you're talking about that, I'm going to ask you
Bro,
more.
we went far.
Wait,
Man,
hold on. You're on the spot right
Yeah,
now.
yeah.
The spotlight is right on you. Have you ever had a gambling mishap?
A gambling mishap? I actually never have. The only one time...
You don't gamble?
I don't. I don't. You know, it's an expensive hobby. The only one time I did it was, you know, these virtual games with like horses racing, and I actually won. But I needed to get out when it was good.
Yeah.
Okay. I've had gambling mishaps.
Wow.
Yes, I have. Serious mishaps.
The way.
So there was a time I went out with my friends and they chose a particular dish over me, and my dish was horrible and theirs was better, and I had to eat the horrible dish. That's the closest I've been to gambling.
Better man than me.
I lost my shoes to gambling. So don't put your money on me, you lose.
Let me tell you, most recently,
You
right?
are really a bad gambler.
It's so bad if you're losing property.
It's
Man,
terrible.
use your own
I don't gamble.
How did you go back? You went on barefoot?
Yeah.
Oh.
I went on barefoot.
Okay,
Yeah.
let me tell you something. Sorry, gang, for interrupting. So we used to have these celebrity football matches. So we have Chelsea fans that are celebrities, Arsenal fans that are celebrities, and all that, you know. So we played it. That was a couple of years back or 3 years back. We played it. So the celebrities that came were younger than me, but me, they didn't know that I was a football maestro, midfield maestro. No, check it. Go and check it.
Okay,
find
sure.
out.
I've seen one of the games before. You were wearing a blue jersey.
Yeah. I'm like the midfield maestro. My pass, nobody passes like me. They call me Fabregas.
You heard it?
I was going to say Perlo, but...
If you say so.
I love Perlo.
Yeah, Perlo's got
But
it.
I'm more of a Fabregas person. Perlo is a wizard.
Fabregas was from which club to which?
Yeah.
No.
Yeah,
the Fabregases, all
Okay, all the Fabregas.
all gang. All.
I agree.
That's a cop out now.
No,
Anyway.
cop out. I like that analysis.
So I played for a while. I tried to do an assist. The guy didn't score. You understand? It's not my fault. And I gave you perfect. All you had to do is tap it in. He didn't score and everything. Then one of them, I'm going to call names.
Okay.
So
Who?
Funny Bone comes to me. Funny Bone comes to me and said, Funny Bone and I go save comedians. So they are a joke. So now, they came to me in football. They are my friends. Don't worry, they'll understand. So, and AY also, but AY was on the
other side.
Yeah, no. AY actually was on another match. That's another story. But anyway, Funny Bone said, hey, bros, you have to rest. I was the freaking captain of this. I said, I'm going to rest. I'm the captain of the team. He said, you have to rest because we have people to play and everything. And I go, so they planned it together and they, So I said, all right, I rested. Then the ball ended in a stalemate and they said we should take penalties. They were all afraid of taking penalties. But they were playing at my turf, Campo Square. Okay. That's where I play every Tuesday. So penalties, they give it to me because I'm ice cold.
Okay.
So as I was going to take the penalty, one of them whispered and said, hey, Frank, he was telling Daddy Shoki was our coach. He's not going to score. So I overheard him. You know what I told him? I went back to him. And I told him, I said, okay, I'm going to take, I said, ref, excuse me, I'm going to take the penalty.
Yeah.
If I miss, take my car. If I score, I take your car.
Man, this is rich people.
That is what I told him. The guy said, I said, I thought so. I went there, kept the ball. Who was on the DJ Neptune? Was the goalkeeper. Kept the thing on the spot and everything. I did this. They blew it. I looked at that guy like this, from far like this. Boom! Whoa! Stone cold. Then I looked at him and I said, thank your stars, you almost missed your only means of transportation. Don't ever try me in your life when football is involved.
Frank the gambler.
Thank you.
I think you should gamble
On
more,
that
man.
note,
No. I gamble with my talent. You know, if I try that thing, I'll lose my shoes.
On that note, we need to take a quick break. When we return, we'll talk about surrogacy. Yeah, I don't want to talk about this. They're making me talk about it, but I hope you guys can
Why
help
don't
with
you
it.
want to talk about it?
After the break, the Black Table continues.
Surrogacy. You talk.
No woman should attempt surrogacy except she no longer has a womb or for some reason she's unable to have children. Lies! Quick backstory. The other day I did a post and said if you're over 30, you're single and you want to have children in future, please freeze your eggs and every other thing I said. Internet people came for me. They said, Ife, people are poor. There's poverty in the land. Not many people can afford it. Even after I had said this thing is expensive. Okay, listen, I'm about to trigger the internet people again. If you're a woman, you have no fertility complications, you can carry a child to term, and you decide by yourself that you don't want to do that and you want to use a surrogate instead, your decisions are valid. You don't owe anybody any medical report, apology, or an explanation. Let's make the story personal here. I have a womb, I don't have any fertility complications, I'm perfectly healthy, but I'm still going to use a surrogate. I know many people are genuinely.
Okay. All right, you heard all of that. All right, joining us for the second time on the show is Funmi Akinshola, a seasoned media personality. You heard what she had to say about surrogacy. Now, we know what's been going on, buzzing around town. Let's talk about surrogacy.
Okay.
Many people have different opinions about it. And I want to find out from you guys what your thoughts are.
I always wanted to adopt, but I never got the chance to do it. Surrogacy it's still your child, but it's just that the substratum of fertilization happens to be another person. Maybe your wife has complications and all that. And then you do it, but the DNA of the child is yours.
Remains is yours, yeah.
It's just like pollination, the transfer of pollen grains from the anther to the stigma. It just goes like that, and fertilization occurs, and the flower is given birth to. The flower of a plant is actually the fruit.
Exactly.
It's actually the fruit. So what I'm trying to say is surrogacy. Why are people making a mountain out of a molehill? I would do it in a second.
Okay, but you're a man.
Yeah. I mean, if
from a man's point of view,
surrogacy.
Okay
you can't force it. No, I'm okay with the man, but you can't force it on the woman if she doesn't want to do it.
Exactly.
No, you can't do it. But if the woman says so, scientifically, the child is yours.
Yeah.
Okay. So
because the DNA, if they use the woman's eggs, and they use your semen, and they fertilize, it's just the chamber.
That is.
Yeah, it's just like you taking wine and say, I love this wine bottle. It's not about the bottle.
It's about the content, the wine itself.
That's it.
All right, so we have Funmi Akinshola joining us via Zoom. Hello, Funmi.
Hello, Frank.
Hi, good evening.
Hello, Funmi. How you doing?
Hi,
So, Funmi, we've got Moyo, we've got Frank, and of course, Tien Gang in the studio. And yes, we saw your... we want to share your thoughts on surrogacy.
Yeah. So I agree with Frank on this. And in fact, one of the first things when I was reading about this surrogacy was the example that was given was even in the Bible, when Sarah felt she couldn't carry a child, she told Hagar to carry a child from, her husband until she eventually now had the child of promise. So I don't even understand the buzz, because every time when it has to do with women and having children, there's always one thing or the other. If it's not vaginal birth, then it's a CS. Now it's a surrogacy, and everybody's postulating up and down. The most important thing is that, does the child arrive and healthy? Yes. And for someone like Ife, for example, she's in her 40s, I think. And if you do read about pregnancies in your 40s, it's considered a risky pregnancy if you're 40. If she can afford it, I can have someone that can carry the child for her and is healthy and the baby is here. I don't think it's a bad thing. I know that because sometimes I always feel like people also like to postulate about women's bodies. Even people, I have a 14-year-old, I've carried a pregnancy. Carrying pregnancy, even is work. Even if you're healthy, some people have their way and have somebody else carry that pregnancy, even if they can if they're in the age to carry it, they will, because there's a lot of work having children, even going through your whole monthly cycle and all of that. So for me, the important thing is, does the child arrive healthy, and is the child going to be in a loving household? That's what is important. How the person chooses to bring the child into the world doesn't make it doesn't make one mother more superior to the other. I know someone also had health challenges for a while, 13 years she had to wait, she couldn't have children, she had done surgery, taken out fibroid. Eventually she had to get somebody else to carry her twins. In fact, she was not even an African, it was an Indian woman that carried her twins. Her story is out there in the the internet. An Indian, and the twins look exactly, in fact, the boy looks like her husband, and then the girl looks directly like her, because they use her egg and her husband's sperm. So I don't know all this, theory about surrogacy and people postulating up and down. For me, people have a right to choose what is best for them and the children that they want to bring into this world, as long as they're not hurting anybody and they're not creating a baby factory or forcing anyone to go and have, the surrogates. It's yes, I know that the laws in Nigeria are not yet totally firm like in other parts of the world, but the surrogate knows exactly what they're going into. They're going to be paid for it, and there's counseling that goes on. And if the person that chooses to carry their child, bring their child into this world with the surrogate is fine by it, and their partner is fine by it, I don't know what the uproar is about. So for me, that's my take.
Can I just quickly jump in?
Yes, please.
Funmi, I think part of the issue is that surrogacy basically stemmed from some of the complications you mentioned for a woman to be able to carry a child, go through all the stages of carriage and delivery, but now for a healthy woman that has no issue whatsoever, but still decide to go through surrogacy is part of the dilemma that's happening now. So you hear a lot of the my body, my choice situation, which is is basically seen as women running a certain kind of campaign. When it comes to men, we don't have my body, my choice. But when the woman decides, okay, I'm healthy, but for certain personal or selfish reasons, I don't want to carry a baby. There's nothing wrong with me. Let somebody else carry my baby.
Okay, are you saying it's wrong?
I can clean it.
No, he's
okay, you just wait. Go ahead, please.
I understand it also, because I think that just because I'm just going to use an example. It's not the same example, but I can choose to clean my house. Just because I can clean, it doesn't mean I can't hire a cleaner if I want to do that. So everybody has, and look, sorry, it's making
She's dropping knowledge.
Wow, Funmi.
Wow,
I like that.
Okay, Funmi, in that case, Funmi, let me present this case.
That's great.
We make it look like it's not like we can stroll into the supermarket to go and buy. It's expensive. Like if I said, if you go and find out how much surrogacy, it's not chicken fees money. It's expensive.
Yeah, it's expensive. But Funmi, I want you to understand this. Funmi,
one thing or the other in the world is abuse. Look, just like when we say social media and phones, there's a good part of it, there's a bad part of it. So if women are going to use it for there's some women that don't even want to have children because they don't want their breasts to fall down, they don't want their stomach to wrinkle and everything.
You're very right. It is expensive, and women that can afford it do it. But let me give you an example. Funmi, listen to this example. A woman says it's my body, it's my choice. So I'm married to this man, and this is the reason why marriage is being affected. I don't want to even talk about marriage. But let's say a woman comes out and says, I don't even want to have a baby. I want my husband to sleep with someone else. If she decides to allow her husband to do that, should society now see that as okay? You get where I'm coming from? If she says, because it's supposed to be mutual.
Hold on. You and your partner, what do you want? You see all this about coming on social media.
Dropping knowledge.
Exactly.
That is what I'm saying.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
people on you and your partner. So before you married your partner, with this conversation, it's a different thing if she springs as an
difficult
absolute surprise to you.
conversations, yeah.
Before you have, because that's the problem also. When you are dating, you are using your mouth to be kissing up and down, you're not communicating. What
Yeah,
if
oh,
you
wow.
and your partner agree?
Why is she on the black table?
She brought out the guns.
Are we supposed to have children? How many children do we want? How
Yeah,
many
exactly.
These are essential conversation we need to have. So it's not a thing of when you now finish marrying you, or you talk, you now finish marrying yourself, you now wake up like, oh, I don't want to have kids. Oh, I don't want to carry kids.
Yeah.
Let's discuss it now. And
Exactly.
the truth is, honestly, most people already know what they're getting into. It's only when you now want to cry victim, you now come and say that and say, no. Trust me, Ife and her partner have already have a conversation. If the guy is good, for me, the only wrong that Ife has done here is coming onto social media to tell you how she wants to bring her child into this world. That's the only wrong I see.
Oh, good. Now, Funmi, please. Funmi, I want you to understand something.
Yeah.
I agree
Yeah.
with you.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I'm just placing certain
Go ahead,
scenarios because some people at sometimes don't think about the surrogate mother as well. There's certain conditions that they're put under where they never get to be associated.
It's business.
Okay,
It's a contract.
at this point, guys,
paid.
let's hear from Frank and Moyo.
Let me just say this, right? When it comes to surrogacy, right? I personally believe in a woman having full autonomy of her body because pregnancy is tough. You know, they be spitting everywhere. You know, the baby is basically resting on their bladder. It's not easy, and it's not even about having fertility issues, right? You might be a career woman who doesn't want to take a break, that 9-month break from work, because whether we like it or not, whether you're pregnant and you're working, you cannot work optimally the way you would ordinarily work. There's fatigue. God bless you, my sister. You know, there's fatigue. There's so much things that they have to go through.
Yeah.
It's a big deal. And also, even women who have no underlying health issues, you can't really predict how the thing is going to go.
Yeah.
When I was younger, my mom had like a junior staff who came to stay with us. She was close to giving birth. And this woman just wouldn't stop bleeding. Okay. So she went into labor. She went into labor in our house.
Yeah.
So my mom had to find a way to take her to a private hospital that we use. And the doctor came and I was like, oh my God, she's bleeding and I don't know how to stop it. She had
The doctor said that he didn't know how to stop it.
Yeah, I was going to say some terrible things about the doctor, but he's dead.
No,
now.
you've said.
He's dead now. So I'm gonna say rest in peace. She had
you killed him?
No, I didn't kill him.
Okay.
Natural causes. So she had to take her to a general hospital in Badagry, and they had to do blood transmission and stuff like that. This is a woman who went for her antenatals and stuff like that.
Everything was fine.
Everything was fine.
Yeah.
You know, so if you're a woman who has the means, because it's not cheap, if you're a woman who has the means and you want to work and it's going to get in the way of you have big nose and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't want to make light of the situation because I know it's
Wow.
tough. Right?
I mean, like,
you have all this.
you're going to be
What
cancelled,
so you-
man.
Yeah, no. But what I'm saying is, if you can afford it, please do it. If my wife comes to me and says, I would rather somebody carry this baby, it's still my sperm. It's
Yeah,
still
still
her
has-
egg. The
exactly.
baby has no blood relation
So that's
to
the point.
carrier.
If both of you agree and you're okay with it, no problem.
Again, this is a conversation you had before the marriage.
So, no.
Frank, yeah.
My problem is, you know, you guys always thinking about what the public says. Oh, sorry. The public.
Yeah.
See.
F the public.
Let me tell you, I told them before, when I got to 50, I mastered the art of not giving an F about what people think about me. And I've had utopia. I'm in the state of nirvana because I don't care what you think about me. Because you know what? When I was behaving, Mr. Goody Two Shoes and everything, you guys were still insulting me.
So why
I'm going to do what I want. If you insult me, I'll be like, hey, it's that's what I want to do. So it's just like now. A friend of mine, Muhammad, years ago, he used to brag to me, Muhammad Itudai, he used to brag to me and say that he knows how to do Excel. He was a wizard in Excel spreadsheets.
Excel sheet, okay.
Yeah, spreadsheets. That thing is an art. You understand? The guy, he would just come and say, hey, I don't know what to do this in.
I found a solution to it, by the way.
He'll tell me, wait now, wait. So he says, shh, don't worry, you go, papa. The thing goes, I say, Mohammed, you are a genius. Now, ChatGPT.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
ChatGPT. All I have to do is just put the thing in what other random this thing and tell it, put everything on this column. I want on this row. I want this on this row. And ChatGPT in 5 seconds does what Mohammed does in 12 hours. And everything. So are you now going to blame me for going to use ChatGPT when there are a team of people, there are millions of people that have studied Excel? only for ChatGPT to say, "All right, you guys,
So
I'll take it from
nullify all of
here.
them.
I'll take it from here."
And
It's the same thing as surrogacy.
It's quite interesting. Yeah, I was going to say that, and I keep telling people that that's how I see. That's how I see. No. It's the same thing. It's the same thing because
it is the same
many
thing. You know
many
what?
years ago.
You look for an easier way
Exactly.
to achieve what you want.
It's that simple.
That's all.
Thank
In
you,
fact,
Frank,
that's
for
even
saying
Jesus
that.
working.
Listen,
What will Jesus do right
He's giving you
now?
an option.
like I said, for the purpose of this debate, I understand it. I'm not fighting it. Do you understand? But nobody really looks at the surrogate mother.
She is paid, gang.
Here's the thing, though.
She is paid. It's a business thing. She's being paid.
No, but hear what Gang is saying.
What is he saying?
Do you know what it takes? It's not regulated.
Do you know what it takes?
regulation?
Excuse me. What
is legal? But there's no
what
regulation
area
in
of
Nigeria.
surrogacy do you want regulated? Are you trying to say after you've been paid and you now change your mind because
See,
you
Frank,
are now
I-
intimate
Frank, I see what you're
with
saying.
the zygote?
I'm on board, but what I'm saying is that for most of the surrogates, most of them are like poor. You know what I mean?
Okay, so
wait. Are you trying?
It could be like they're just taking advantage of the
But
poor
what,
girl.
see, here's the funny thing.
They're taking advantage of the poor girl
Because they need money.
I don't think so. I don't
They're
think
using
so.
their
business
wombs.
transaction.
I don't think so. I think there's an exchange of value at some point between. Yeah, there's an exchange of value, so it doesn't matter.
So
what-
if that value doesn't cover your buyer's remorse or your seller's remorse,
Yes.
if it doesn't cover it, you have to make sure it covers it.
But what if they're ignorant to that? You allow me to.
If
We
they are
had a conversation.
Yeah, we did.
have a conversation.
No. But you can't be
Yeah.
you can't be selectively ignorant. You can't be ignorant at the beginning and become a wise guy at the end. After collecting somebody's money.
But
no.
But here's the thing, Frank.
They need
Frank,
protection
they've
too,
been
to some
stories.
extent. You know what I
Let
mean?
me tell you.
stories
Let me
and
tell you something.
complications
I
with
made a
surrogates.
mistake and paid money into same account, but I paid it into same account number but a different bank for a service, and that money has gone. Nobody came
you
to
guys
say
collect
anything.
this back?
Nobody know for where. Nobody has said anything about it. Let me tell you.
You can't get it. He just didn't try.
When money,
You try like I do try. I'm gonna get my
no,
money.
I tried.
fair.
So now, let me tell you something. When money has exchanged hands, you are not being coerced. At the beginning, you are all about getting the money. Then at the end of the day, you now say, "Oh, I am attached to the."
No, but
You're talking about the ideal situation.
No, but Frank, this is the point I'm trying to make.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay, here's the thing. If you understand what happens to a woman's body during pregnancy,
Exactly.
forget that it's a business.
Okay,
forget
cool.
that it's a transaction.
Wait, is
You
surrogacy a
collected-
business?
Do you understand?
No.
money
So is
exchange
it
hands.
ethically a business?
Ethically, very
yes,
much so.
it's approved.
Two things.
Okay.
So if you understand what goes on in a woman's body in the different stages of pregnancy until birth, forget that it's a business. You'll have some sympathy on the surrogate. That she had to, here's the thing, she had to go through this because she's healthy and well, because a healthy and well woman just decided to say, I don't want to go through this stress.
I give you
Okay, did she,
On that
but
note,
was she coerced?
Fumi's still with
was
us.
she-
Wasn't coerced. But
Was she
finally-
coerced?
But finally, at the same time,
She wasn't
At
coerced.
what point does the man, that us, the male, have a say?
We paid the money.
You don't have a say. That's the
No,
point
you
I'm
don't
trying
have
to
a say.
make.
Before you get married, you have the conversation.
You don't have a say when you've had a discussion about certain
Okay,
things.
good, fair.
So it's about coming together and agreeing on what you want to do moving
Exactly.
forward. Now, Funmi, can you Funmi? Hello, Funmi. Hi.
Yeah.
Okay, so quickly, I want you to give us something we call just a tip, which is like something we can take away
Some
from
advice.
tonight's conversation and advice on the things that men don't know about this particular situation.
Oh, okay. Advice on women. Okay, men don't know about surrogacy or about the woman's body.
Anything in general.
Maybe one
That
nugget,
was funny.
one nugget of wisdom. to
Because
take
you know,
away.
men, we're like Jon Snow. We know nothing.
What?
We're the chosen one.
Just know, really.
Jon Snow knows nothing.
He knows everything.
So
But I think
Let's listen to me, please.
okay.
I think a book titled Every Woman. There's a book titled Every Woman that has to do with women's health. Men need to find out about that. And if possible, read that. And then the great thing now, the internet is there. So about the woman's menstrual cycle, the hormones, everything, our bodies, as complex as we are, that's how our bodies and our hormones are. And the way pregnancy is different for one person, it can be so much easier for one person. It can be extremely difficult for the other person. I had my son when I was younger. That incident that he was talking about, my just before I had my son, he came 6 weeks early and he had placenta previa. I was a young lady. I was in my 20s when I had my my son, but I had those complications. I was bleeding, but thank God I'm here. My child is all grown now. So before men start postulating, maybe you should take the next woman beside you, your sister, your mother, and just truly find out and understand that because some people say that my mother has had 7 children and she just popped them out from her mouth and it happened. The fact that your mother could do that doesn't mean another man can do that, or doesn't even mean your sister can do that. So you need to just calm down, listen, and it's not selfish when women say they don't want to do certain things. It's just not selfish. Truly, there are people that are vain, but hey, honest to God, not selfish. And then for the person making the case about the surrogate, so poor, and all of those things, please, they're getting value for their money.
Nigerian politicians are selfish.
All right, thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, Funmi Akinshola, thank you very much for joining us on the Black Table this evening. We appreciate the fact that you were a part of the show.
Thank you, Funmi.
Gentlemen.
Thank you, Funmi. Thank you. Take care.
We need to do a toast.
No, we did a toast already.
No, that didn't work. You guys kind of nullified that. So we need to
okay.
do another toast so that we can wrap up the show. So,
right.
Frank, do you want to go?
What are we toasting to?
Exactly.
Whatever you want to toast to.
That we can all agree on, right?
Yeah.
Man, that's going to be difficult because we'll never agree.
We don't agree on things,
We've not been on. We've been breaking the black table since.
Bruh.
But you know what I want to toast to?
Yeah.
I want to toast to men. And the reason why I want to do that is, let me tell you, like what you said at the beginning about, women looking at the white man as their cash register. You understand? It is a problem. Let me tell you, the thing that debilitates marriages is the first thing is finance.
Yeah,
I agree.
There's no romance without finance.
You see, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, what I want to give a toast to is the man finding himself enough to be financially independent, such that he can be able to avoid the disrespect that comes with hardships and times that you don't have money. You see a woman that you've supported through the years, and once she has money and everything, you are down in the dumps, she starts looking at you as an idiot. I'm not saying all women do that. Before you women come at me with your claws, so.
No, but women, it's not all women.
I say it's not.
The way they say it's not all men, it's not all women.
No, but I have to.
You need to clarify that.
You need to clarify that.
Yeah.
As a community. No. I know. Yeah. When I said, "Yo, women," I said, "No, calm down." I was saying a generality of women. Men should look for ways, and there are ways actually to have wealth. To even with the small you have small, we need to know how to save. We need for ourselves, and not even tell the women we are saving.
Yeah.
You understand? Because the woman will say, okay, why can't we use from that saving and solve this problem now? Long-term savings should be what you know by yourself. You do that and you invest that in some. So there are ways to do that. I have the ways to do that, but if you no, I can't say now because they will say I'm doing a plug. Okay, but they can contact you men. You guys can reach out. You men reach out. Yes, to Frank. Frank Edoho on Instagram. I am telling you, if you are wealthy, that is why an 80-year-old man can put in his will that you are not going to marry.
You ain't married nobody.
That power cannot be exhibited by a poor man. Yes. So, cheers to the men that are going through financial trouble. Man can't get married. I wish you success in the near future. I'm joining you guys on this toast. And that joining you guys on the table and the respect that can emanate from you still controlling the financial power of your family, that it will never dry up.
Amen to that, man.
All right.
Amen.
Amen.
Cheers.
All right.
Cheers.
You heard it all. That was the toast of the day.
So who are we putting a baby in this weekend?
Man, I think you have personal trauma through surrogacy because the way you have been telling me
but he was contesting it.
He was contesting
it. If women could have other women go through their periods for them, they would take that.
If I was a woman, I'm gonna take it because I've seen my sister.
All right, we need to go right now. Remember, the darker the night, the brighter the stars.
Sorry, before you go, why isn't this program 2 hours by now? I thought that
coming soon.
I leave 12 o'clock.
Coming soon.
Very soon. Soon enough.
Very soon is coming.
No. I'm giving you guys 2 weeks. If by 2 weeks it's not done, I'm not coming here again.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Yeah.